Good morning, everybody. It's great to see you packed room. I thought I'd be here by myself at this time of the morning after last night, so it's great to see you all here. Those of you who've asked for the Turkish belly dancer's phone number, there is a queue. But Dermot Halpin from Expedia has already offered to increase his budget by 20% to get her number first. So that's the kind of deal we're expecting to do today. So yesterday in our last session, Copy Fight, we talked a bit about online video and is it all cats on skateboards, or is there more to it, and is it going to be a dearth of culture in the 21st century, or can it actually contribute to the culture of the 21st century? Well, I hope last night we proved that even though beatboxing may not make an exhibition of 21st century cultural icons, it's definitely entertainment. Now, all of the acts you saw last night were acts that we actually went online and found on YouTube. They don't have agents. It wasn't through some agency. We actually went online ourselves and we searched on YouTube and found them. Most of them had to get parental consent to come across, and most of them had to skip school yesterday. So there's a little bit of negotiation with their parents. The vast majority had never been on stage before in their lives, and they were very, very nervous and also quite excited about performing on the stage in a room like that last night. So this is real, internet happening as we see it. It's real user-generated content live, which I thought was very, very exciting. And a great tee-up for today. Today is all about the user. It's about, yesterday we heard from governments, from industry leaders. Today we're going to hear about users, and all about users. Because in today's world, we're all users. The user is everyone. It's you, it's me, it's our kids. So today we'll hear from many users themselves. So you'll hear from a guy called Charlie, who's 17. His YouTube name is Charlie is So Cool I Am. Took me about half an hour to learn that one. But he's probably, in many of our views, he's kind of the perception we'd have of internet users. But a typical 17-year-old online, large fan base. But we'll also hear from many other users, because today the user is not just the 17-year-olds. It's also the adventurous 80-year-old who goes online to connect with his grandchildren, or indeed connect with the world. And today we'll hear from a highly networked granddad called Peter, or geriatric 1927, this afternoon. The user is also young, and we'll hear also from the new generation of digital natives, folk who actually were born since the internet took off. So we mentioned yesterday that the internet is 15 years old. Well, we'll hear today from Juliana, Gina, and Romina, who are 10, and 13, I believe. And they'll teach us a bit about, what the young folk are doing today, and what the new people born to the internet, who've always had the internet in their lives, are doing. They share a love for Stardoll and all things girly and fashion. So they'll tell us a bit about what they do this morning. We'll also hear from an artist, one of the artists from last night, Mia Rose. So, artists who are using platforms like YouTube to find a voice and find a way of expressing their creative talent. So we'll hear from her this afternoon. Now, users are also parents, and myself, I had a baby 9 months ago. And last year at this event, those of you who were here, I was quite pregnant, running around, chasing you all, getting you into the room. And this year, I've had my baby. And before I had my baby, I lived in blissful ignorance of the online communities that exist out there for parenting. And in the last 9 months, I've become an expert in online communities and understanding where to get advice. And it's quite scary if you're a brand in that space, if you own a nappy brand or a baby food brand, how your brands are being discussed and dismissed quite frequently as inferior by many concerned and opinionated parents on the web. You're probably not even aware of that, but it's actually quite amazing. What I've also discovered along the way is that even though my child is 9 months old, he's much more web connected than I am. I mean, he's not on the web yet. The nearest he's got is chewing my computer cable. But he's got a Facebook page, a blog. He's got online videos, online photos. He's not even a year old. So he's going to grow up using all this stuff. His life will be shown online, which is quite a scary thought, actually. But it's not even, I can't even control it, because my friends, my family, his godparents, everybody he knows takes pictures of him and videos of him and shoves them on the internet for the world to see. So it's a new age we're in. It's not just a photo album in your cupboard anymore. It's a very different world. So today we'll hear a lot about that through our sessions. We have 3 sessions today. And the first session is all about online community, because it's in the last year, I think we've seen social networking and online community shifts from being a young thing, a new thing, to being normal, whatever normal means today. And I think most of us have Facebook pages or are definitely involved in that world. So we'll talk about online communities this morning and the impact that has on traditional creators of content like the publishing community. We'll follow that session with a really interesting conversation hosted by Christia, who did such a great job moderating for us yesterday. Christia will come back on stage and host a conversation with one of the world's most famous and fantastic authors, Salman Rushdie. That should be a very interesting session. After lunch, we'll finish up our 2 days at Zeitgeist with a session looking at video. I think video is probably one of the spaces seeing the most innovation and exciting content in the last year. So we'll have a session talking about online video and what that means the user formerly known as the audience has now got the power to watch what they want, where they want, when they want. And I think that's going to see huge change for all of us. And the box in the corner of the room is no longer just output, it's also now input. And so we'll talk about what all that means this afternoon. But you'll see a thread through the sessions today, which is a mix of the old and the new. So it's not just the new kids on the block, the Facebooks, the high fives, the My Videos, the YouTubes. It's also the Telegraph, it's the Hultspring Group, it's BBC, it's MTV, because some of those traditional brands are actually leading the way in innovation. You know, things like iPlayer have been incredibly successful. And also some of the online brands are actually going into the more traditional world. They're going offline, they're being acquired by offline companies, or they're actually moving from online to TV, like the Ninja guys we'll hear from later. So we mix it up a bit today from the old and the new, and from innovation, and looking at the future and where we're going. But the first session I want to introduce this morning is moderated by Danny Reimer from Index Ventures. Now, we've heard of lots of great brands through yesterday. We'll hear of more great brands today. But if you look at the list of brands that Danny has invested in, it's really quite impressive, and I'm personally very jealous. It's companies like Skype, it's Juice, probably the most cutting-edge video site out there. It's Real.fm. Is it Real.fm? Last.fm, fastest growing music site at the moment, music online radio, which is very exciting. We've been watching them ourselves because they've really one of the fastest growing sites around. It's Stardoll, who we'll hear from later, fastest growing site for young kids. It's an incredible collection of websites. Now, I think Danny has a bit of the Midas touch when it comes to investing in sort of websites. More than 20 companies have been sponsored by Danny. I guess we'd all love to have his crystal ball, but the best I can offer you today is to hear his words of wisdom from the man himself. So Danny, can I welcome you on stage? Thanks. Good to have you here. Thank
you. Well, good morning. Thanks for getting up so early. I'm very excited about being able to moderate this session because there's a lot of great content going on and very unusual stuff going on. We're very blessed to have 3 users, young users who have flown in and had come in to work with us on this. I guess the first part of the session is going to be around communities and online communities and the fact that they've taken off so quickly. Some of you in the audience are probably parents. I don't know if you love or hate Club Penguin. I don't know if you love or hate Neopets, Habbo Hotel. Maybe there's a lot of World of Warcraft players out there. The reality is the virtual world is becoming as important, if not more important, to a lot of people than the real world that we're sitting in right now. So I thought that we'd start and bring Mattias Miksche to the stage. Mattias is the CEO of Stardoll, also known as Dollman. And Mattias has been a pleasure to work with as he's taken on a very, very raw concept and spearheaded an amazing community that has blossomed online. So Mattias, tell us a little bit about Stardoll.
Stardoll is it's a strange creature. It's both a virtual world and a traditional social website, so to say. But it's all about girls. That's the important thing for us. We don't care a bit about the boys. They have so much other things to do online. We're all about girls. We're all about pink. We're all about 9 to 16. And we're all about the 3 Fs of Stardoll: fame, fashion, and friends. The concept of a virtual world is sometimes a little hard to grasp. We see ourselves flying around in strange 3D environments. So we actually made a little video, a little rock video for you all to see, a 1.5-minute presentation of Stardoll, fame, fashion, and friends.
Great. This is really virtual. All right, let's try that again. It is not that virtual.
There we go.
There we go.
She said, be bold. You can penny too. I lend you a hand. You raise the voice and make a stand, and I saw you cry. I know that I was so with you, and she said I know, but the fire in my heart would show. She said I know, but my fire for this world will grow. We want it all, to be able to stand and fall and shout our down. So when the sun goes down, we stay out. That sounds like a song in the park by us. They are your mind so bright. Would you agree with me? I know I'm right. She said I know, but the fire in my heart will show.
Yep, so that's what it looks like. And as usual, all the men in the audience go. And all the women smile, at least most of them. But that's okay for us.
So tell us a bit about what you're going after here. What's the demographic that you're trying to attract, and what do they see in this?
Well, I think we're going to hear what they see in it. We can only guess. We try to listen to the user, as most companies in our sphere. But really, what makes Stardoll special, it's really made for girls, and it's made to have fun. It's a fun website where you can use your creativity, self-expression, and actually role-playing as well. I mean, we haven't invented anything new. I mean, playing dress-up or playing with dolls is not exactly an internet phenomenon. It's just that we put it in a browser. And now people are not just playing themselves, there's also a social element to it. So people are connecting with other users from all over the world. I mean, it's really cool to see a 12-year-old Albanian girl connecting with a 15-year-old girl from Texas and having fun together.
And on the user-generated side, how are you encouraging them not to just necessarily dress other folks or shop? What else can they do?
There's tons of stuff that we produce and put in the hands of our users. So the best example right now is we launched. I think we'll hear about that too. A week and a half ago, we launched a fashion maker where our users now can create their own fashions, put them on their own dolls, but they can also resell them to other users. And in the first 1.5 weeks that it's been online, we already have our first Stardoll millionaires that made so much money. Stardoll money, our virtual currency, of course. It's not anything you can take.
It's worth more than the dollar, but that's a different topic.
The Stardoll, yeah, you can hear it in the name. It's a great currency. So we have a huge user phenomenon going on right now with these user-generated clothes and fashions that are spreading like wildfire on the site.
And the business model, how are you planning on making money with this?
No, we're not just planning, hopefully. The business model is twofold. So the basic model we have is virtual goods that we sell. So all of the things that the users have in their rooms and on their dolls are items that you buy for Stardollars, which is our virtual currency. We want everyone to have fun on Stardoll, so everyone gets a couple of Stardollars. So you can also earn Stardollars by being a good citizen and reselling old things. But the best and simplest and easiest way to get Stardoll is to purchase them by credit card from your parents or premium SMS, etc. So that's our premium business model. Now we've been so fortunate that we have a huge reach. So we have 8 million users a month on the site, which I think makes us the largest website in the world for girls. So using that reach is pretty nice for advertisers as well. So we have integrated advertising on the site, both traditional formats, but also things that are integrated into the gameplay, because Stardoll, the gameplay of Stardoll is really about clothes and furniture and brands. So brands are a really important world within Stardoll.
And brands are viewed as, what would you call a brand? Is a brand a celebrity? Is a brand a clothesline? What is it? A fashion line?
A brand is, I'm not the big branding expert. I'm sure there's lots in the audience here. But our users see our brand. I mean, we have made-up brands, or not made-up brands, but brands that we have created, that our illustrators have created. So we have a goth line that we call Fallen Angel. And we have a Pretty in Pink line for the younger girls. And we just did a big user study that shows that our users view these brands as real brands. Then again, we have real brands as DKNY, for example, and Sephora that are on the site. But having the brands and using the brands as a means of personalization and self-expression is really what our users like.
Now, you've also worked with celebrities in some of this. So explain to us why a celebrity would be interested in working with Stardoll. Why don't they see this as having some of the privacy issues that we were talking about yesterday, that you're basically using a like image of them and monetizing it or taking advantage of it?
Yeah. I mean, we have, as I said, we have 16 million registered members and 8 million uniques a month. That's a pretty nice fan base in this demographic. But really what we notice when we go out to these celebrities that we do deals with, for example, Heidi Klum or Avril Lavigne or Hilary Duff or some others that you saw in the video, is that they honestly really love the product. Usually they've heard about it as well. I mean, I've been in some very interesting meetings with lawyers, etc., and it turns out that they've been on the site themselves, they played with it themselves, and they all think it's a very fun thing to do.
Great. Well, I think it's now time to hear a little more from the users. So maybe we can start with a tape interviewing our 3 users.
You ever felt the urge to give Angelina, Lindsay, or even Tomcat a makeover? You might want to log on to Stardoll.com.
Hello, my name is Juliana Tosh / Kate Moss Crazy on Stardoll. I don't visit any other sites except Stardoll. I have real celebrities there. This is my suite called Kate Moss Crazy. I just designed it yesterday. As you see, I'm collecting hot buys such as shoes, and it's my favorite one I got from Cali.
Hi everyone, I'm Ermina and this is my family.
Hello.
Hola, hola.
Hola.
This is my Stardoll, Amy. I can dress the way I want to. I'm 14 years old and living in Sweden. I like dressing up my doll and styling my suite.
Hello, I'm Gina and I'm a Stardoll user. Here's a few of my designs that I love to draw. I'm also going to show you my favourite picture ever, which is of my favourite actress and my style icon, Audrey Hepburn. I've been a Stardoll user for 2 to 3 years now. I've come into contact with so many people from all over the world who I would have never had contact with unless it was for our shared love of fashion, fun and Stardoll.
Okay, big round of applause for Ermina, Gina, and Juliana. Well, great. Thank you very much for joining us. I think the opportunity for the CEO of Stardoll to ask you some questions is just too great to not offer Mattias the chance. So, Mattias, why don't you take it away?
Yeah, I have a couple. I would like to start off with just hearing how did you hear about Stardoll, Juliana? What?
Well, my friend, she convinced me when I went around her house.
Your friend invited you to your house?
I went around her house and she convinced me to join it because it was a great site for her.
And have you since told other users?
No, my friend's been on Stardoll longer than me.
Okay, they're older. Oh, okay. And what does it look like in your class, for example? Are you the only one on Stardoll, or?
Yeah, I do. About 10 people.
About 10 people?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And how much time do you spend on Stardoll?
2 hours a day.
2 hours a day. I think that puts you in the category of a heavy user. Yeah. What else do you do on the internet except going to Stardoll?
Nothing else really.
Nothing else? Yes.
All right.
Oh, that's great.
On to Gina.
On to Gina. So Gina, what's the best thing about Stardoll?
I think the best thing is that you can talk to people from all over the world. It makes it really exciting to find out about different cultures and speak to all these people that you would never speak to.
Really? Mm-hmm. So what kind of people do you speak to?
From all over the world, really. Like, I've got friends in the USA, in the United Kingdom as well, and in lots of other countries in Europe.
Ah. And what do you do with them? You chat with them, or you have competitions, or?
Well, we just really talk like normal, and it's like you can have friends who you don't even know, but they're still really close to you, and it's really interesting.
So what do your parents say about all this? They think Stardoll's okay? Obviously, they let you go here.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what my mum thinks about it, but I'm sure she really likes that I'm having more fun than I would otherwise without it.
And do you also go to other websites?
Not really.
Not really. Do you play computer games or
No.
watch telly?
I watch some TV, but I probably go on Stardoll more than I watch TV.
No.
Because it's more fun.
Gina, do you have brothers or sisters?
Yeah, I've got a brother.
And your brother plays on Stardoll too?
No.
No. So what's he do?
He goes in the Club Penguin.
Club Penguin, okay.
But he's not really into the computer. He's more gone outside because he's more into sports.
Okay. So how do you? There's one computer for the two of you.
Yeah.
So you have to sort of fight one another to get time on.
Sometimes.
Okay. Great.
And Romina, what is your favorite thing that you do on Stardoll?
I like dress up my doll and styling my sweets.
So you dress up your own doll.
Yes.
That's the most fun.
And signing clothes.
Designing the clothes, the new design maker that we just talked about. Oh. And how do you know what to do?
I don't know.
Do you look like in a magazine and say, I want to do this, and you try to do it, or you just use your own?
Sometimes.
Use your own creativity. Oh, that's good. Do you also speak to other users online, or you use it yourself?
Not so much. I use the self.
Use it yourself, yeah. I can tell you that really within our user group, there is a distinction around 10 to 12. Before that, it's usually much of a solitary play. You play yourself, and then after that, the social component usually kicks in. Yeah.
So I'm interested about this. Romina, do you watch TV or you spend most of your time online?
I watch TV very much.
You do, huh? Okay. Okay, got it. All right. And do you have a brother or sister?
Yes, I have a little brother.
Is he also online or is he too young?
She plays Playhouse Disney and Disney Channel games.
Okay. Okay. Playhouse Disney Channel games. Mattias, we got to do some work here.
Yeah.
Okay. And Gina, how did you find out about? You live in Edinburgh, right? So how did you find out about Stardoll?
I just searched on Google for some Stardoll, well, like websites where you could dress up celebrities, and I found Stardoll. Okay. And then I just got really addicted to it, really.
Okay. So you do use Google?
Yeah.
Ah, there we go. Okay. We'll be invited back next year. Thank you for that. Great. Now, we've been asking you a bunch of questions. I think it's only fair. We give you the power of a magic wand, and you can ask Mattias here to make your wish come true on Stardoll. So what should he do? Juliana, what's your favorite, what would you like him to do with your magic wand?
Give us Mary-Kate and Ashley clothes.
I'm sorry?
Give us Mary-Kate and Ashley clothes.
Give you the Mary-Kate and Ashley clothes. Okay. Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen are two of these the actors, these celebrity sisters that are on Stardoll, and they have their own clothing line. So I guess you want them. Okay, I'll put that down.
Okay. Because you can't get them online right now. You can't get, no.
No, because some people have them.
Oh.
But I'm not sure how they get it, because I think they do copies, because they had a competition and 2 people won and they got all the clothing, but some people have it for some reason.
Interesting. There's already some hacking and gaming of the system.
There is
amazing.
There's actually quite a lot of hacking and gaming the system, but we also try, there's no apparent gameplay when you get into Stardoll. There's no levels. There's no goal. The first thing I did, actually, when we started the company was hire lots of women who told me that girls don't play that way. I wanted to have levels and prizes and stuff. They said, no, Mattias, this is a girl thing. So we listened to them. We let them decide. But we do try to tie in lots of game-like things into Stardoll, such as, if you've been a member for a long while and you've done certain things that are good to the community, you get access to certain things that others don't. And you can also, we also have things that we take out of circulation in our own shop. So Stardoll, we have a shop, a shopping mall, where we put out new things every day for our users to play and interact with. But we also take things out of circulation so that they become collectibles, which is pretty.
Hot buys.
They're called hot buys, yeah.
So Gina, your magic wand.
I'd like more rooms in the suite and more interiors for the suite. And also I'd like a sort of design feature to design your own furniture and your own wallpaper. It'd be really interesting because make it more personalized.
Good. So I have some good news for you then. So today, as a user on Stardoll, if you're a free user, you have one room in your suite. If you're a paying user, what we call a superstar, you have 3 rooms. But I can tell you, so as of next Monday, you're going to have 10 rooms each in your suites. So there's lots of things to decorate.
All right. Gina probably wants 20, though, just for the record.
Yeah.
Okay, how about you, Romina?
I will buy my own Star design clothes.
So you want to go to a store and be able to buy your own Stardoll designed clothes. All right, Mattias, you got some work here.
That's very good user-generated content. Yeah, that would be amazing. I mean, we just did this user survey in the United States where we had in-depth interviews with our users, and a couple of them, said in these interviews that they were wearing Fallen Angel and Pretty in Pink clothes to school, every day. Except you can't really buy them today, but their perception of it was that they are brands that you can buy and wear to school. So we probably will have to look into that one day.
Super. I think we have time for one question from the audience, if anyone wants to reach out and ask something. Otherwise, we'll just carry on going. Okay. Well, thank you very much for coming. I know that you have a busy schedule here. You're going to see the wheel, and you've got to do some shopping in town, so we don't want to hold you up too long. So thank you very much.
Thank you.